Hey guys, okay, so this is part two, and in this one, we're actually going to be making the intro cutscene and the intro mini game. Well, not intro mini game, outro mini game. So every time you beat a night, you're going to get a mini game. Every time you start a night, you can either make it so every time you start a night, you get a cutscene, or every time, or just the first time you start the first night, you get a cutscene. And so we're gonna have to set up the systems for the nights, and we're gonna have to do everything like that. Now, first things first, we're gonna have to go here where we had the close, and we're actually gonna have to change it to settings. I messed up a little bit. This is gonna be settings, not close. So the close button was just to stop the settings from being there. I made a mistake. I forgot to make you guys make the settings. So anyway, with that being said, let's get back into the tutorial. Now, so we're gonna make it so when you press new game, so we're gonna go to new game, we're gonna get a, when this sprite is clicked, we're gonna get a night, we're gonna make a new variable, we're gonna call this variable night. Now, if you don't understand variables all too well, keep an eye out because I'm gonna make a video explaining variables, but you're gonna make a variable, call it night, okay? Now, we're gonna make it so you can't, make sure you click these two buttons right here so you're not able to see it up here, because if we have it showing, it's gonna look pretty bad. So, make sure always save your project. You never know what could happen. So we're gonna actually, you see where we have this set character to 1? We're also gonna put a set night to 1. And now what this is gonna do is it's gonna make it so every time we start the game, our night is automatically gonna be 1. And what we're gonna do to have this continue work and to have it be where you can have your own night, we're gonna have it be to where it sets up as there's gonna be codes given to you at the end of every night, so that way you're able to get to that night afterwards. So we're gonna have, when this sprite is clicked, events, when this sprite is clicked, events, we're gonna have, okay, so when this sprite is clicked, we're gonna get an if else, okay? No, we're not gonna get an if else, because if it's the first game, okay, my bad, I'm blanking, guys. Okay, so when this sprite is clicked, new message, start cutscene. Now, we have this, right? After this, you're just gonna put hide. Now we're gonna go, well, actually an easier way, here's a little tip. When I receive start cutscene, hide, and what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna drag this into all your other areas on here. Now, something that would look better as is, that's like sort of you turning off your computers, as we have, you could do a wait point, you could do a wait 1, and you could put that in between. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to new game, and when we press it, we're actually gonna press a sound. Now we're gonna have to go through our sounds. I'm thinking of effects, and I'm thinking this, but we just cut it, so we just have this. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna sound sort of like a switch turning it off. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna save that, we're gonna open it up and see what that looks like. Now I, for one, know this is gonna look good. So boom, boom. Now we forgot to put this into the title, and so let's just do that really quick. And personally, what I think is going to look good is if we actually have the title automatically go out. Now, while that's loading up in the background, we're going to go back to new game, and we're going to start setting this up. So, what we're going to do is, when the sprite is clicked, we're going to have it set night to 1 as well, because, remember, this is new game. So, whenever you start a new game, you're not going to start a new game at night 3. You're going to start it at night 1. So, let's click this. Boom. Perfect. So, now, we start cutscene. We're going to make a new sprite. We're going to call this cutscene. Now, I personally don't want a cutscene in my game, but I know some of the viewers do. I know some of you guys do, and I look out for y'all. So, I'm going to have this right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to act like I have a cutscene. So, I'm going to do 1. Just like that. Okay, so I finished. I have 1, 2, 3. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to name these slide, and then whatever slide number it is. So slide 2, boom, slide 3. And the way this is going to kind of work is it's going to be a slide system. So you're going to have images, and you're just going to slide to the next one, sort of like a flip book. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go in here, when green flag clicked, of course, hide. And now, you're going to have to do, when I receive start cutscene, just like that, you're going to put a wait 1. Don't forget, we did a wait 1 for the background, so we're going to have to do a wait 1 with any start cutscenes from now on to make sure they don't overstep, you know what I mean? So, what we're going to do is we're going to do this. And now what we're going to do is press space to continue. Just like that. And we're going to do switch costume to slide 1 because you don't want to start on slide 2. Looks, show, wait until key space is pressed. Now what you're going to do, if else, and you're going to get a if, and then you're going to get a less than. That's the one where the big side is pointing to the right. And you're going to get the max number, which is 4. You're going to put if costume number is less than 4. And what we're going to do here is we're actually going to make it go to the next slide. So just next costume. Else, what we're going to do here is we're gonna broadcast start, or not start night, but you're gonna broadcast newspaper. No, not newspaper, because you can actually have your newspaper be in this animation. Start or show night, just like that. So what you're gonna want to do is make sure you have your newspaper in here. So one's actually gonna be newspaper. This is as if I'm gonna put words to show what this would be. 1, newspaper. 2, this is just for my story, meeting boss. 3 is getting or going to office. And then this is sitting down. Now this is what I would do if I was making a cutscene. This, once again, this is not for my game. This is not going to be in 3 Nights at Tubbs. This is just for a viewer who wanted it. So, this is newspaper, meeting boss, going to office, sitting down. Now I'm not going to have art for this because once again, it's not going to be in my game. But what this is going to do is, so when the start cutscene triggers, we're going to go to slide 1. It's going to wait 1 second to show, so it shows as soon as the office hides. And then it's going to show this. You press space 3 times, reach the end, press space once again, shows the night. We're good. We're set. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the thing for the end of the night first before I actually start getting into the night, but it's going to be super easy and hopefully no one has any trouble. If you do, leave a comment and I will help. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a new sprite, and we're going to call this sprite Minigame Player. And now what you're going to want to do is you're going to make a sprite for your player for the actual minigame. Now, I am going to make a character. Okay guys, I'm back. So right here we have my character. This is just an old-timey version of Tub. And this is what we're going to use in the game. So what you're going to do is you're also going to want to make another sprite, and you're going to want to call this sprite Minigame Borders. Now, you're going to want to draw the outline of what your borders are going to be for your minigame. So this is like the walls in any Five Nights at Freddy's minigame. So, just like now, as you see, I did make a little doorway. Now what we're going to do here is you're going to go and you're going to get the backdrop color like that, and you're just gonna boom. Now your character won't be able to walk through that. Now don't forget to center it just like such, and you're gonna want to go into your character and say you made him really big. What you're going to do is you're going to go over here, set size, I don't know, 25 looks good for Tub. Oops, didn't mean to delete that. 25 looks good for Tub. Let's see. Ooh, never mind. 50. Better. Now my minigame is going to be very simple, guys. You're not going to have to worry any bit at all about the minigame. You guys are going to have complete freedom. You're not going to follow my thing directly. Now, I forgot to show you guys. Right here, put hide after show night. Now, we're going to go here. And we're going to go to minigame character. And we're going to do, when green flag clicked, set size to 50, and hide. Now, we're going to have a variable. We're going to call this minigame night. Now this is going to change. So if night, we're going to get a, okay, so remember how I said this is going to go after our minigame. If you want to, this is going to go after our main night. If you want to change that and have this be before, this is where you change it. When you make a when I receive, you're going to make a new one. We're going to call it when I receive night end. Now this, when we make the actual night, when we have the time run out and trigger the game stop to go back to the menu so we can do next night, this is where we're going to do it with this night end variable. So that way we're working on the end of the night without actually working on it, if that makes sense. So when I receive night end, if else. If, and then you're going to get equals, and you're going to put night inside of the left side. If night equals, let's say 1, because at the end of this minigame, that's when we change the night. So if night equals 1, then, and you're going to switch, what's it called? Oh, you're going to put this in minigame. When night equals 1, then we're going to switch to costume 1, because we're going to make different costumes for each individual night. So we're going to go to here, and say you want to have different characters for every night, which is what I'm going to do for this game. So when night equals 1, we are going to go to here, and we're going to do we're going to go right here, and we're going to put switch costume to costume 1. I'm going to rename this to Tub, because that's who the character is. So when night end, if night equals 1, switch costume to Tub, and then you're going to want to put him wherever you want him. I'm going to have him start top left. Go to there. Looks, show. Now we're going to go to night, looks, show. Now you'll see when we start the game, this is going to stay here. That's because we haven't put when green flag clicked, looks, hide. Now if we restart it, boom, perfect game. Now you may notice when we get to the end of this intro, boom, intro. Oh, it appears I made a mistake. Hold on, guys. Oh, see, I put a repeat until spacebar is pressed. I didn't put wait until. No, hold on, guys. You're gonna want to get rid of this, and you're just gonna grab the when key space is pressed, just like that, and actually that's not gonna work. You're just gonna go here. You're just gonna get a forever. Then you're gonna put if then. You're gonna put key space pressed from the sensing block, just like that. Now this is gonna do what we actually wanted to do, and that's gonna make it so even when you press the key anywhere else, it's not gonna change the cutscene sprite. But once we start the cutscene, then it will. So make sure you see this, guys, so that way you make that fix and your game doesn't go all nuts on you. Now we're gonna go to new game. Now it should work. Oh, we need to have a cooldown period where we wait. So we're gonna do a wait. At the end of this, when spacebar pressed, you're gonna put wait 1, just like that, and that's gonna give us a cooldown. But you may notice, where's the ending? Where's our end night? So we can test it. Now, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to go to cutscene. This is just for testing purposes. Once we actually get to the nitty-gritty of the night system, we're gonna get rid of this. But we're just gonna put at the end of this broadcast show night, broadcast night end. That's just so we can test it. Now we're gonna want to restart, and we'll see if it works. Hopefully it does. Not hopefully, I know it will, guys. Don't worry, you're in good hands. This is why playtesting is very important, guys. That was not a fart. I was cracking my knuckles. Perfect. And now we're here at the minigame. Now you may be wondering, I can't move. We're gonna fix that. Don't you worry. So you're gonna want to do when I receive. You're gonna want to go right here. When I receive night end, night equals 1. Now what you're gonna want to do is a forever loop. You're gonna want to do if, and you're going to do in or, and you're gonna want to do if key, and you're gonna do for left. You're gonna do a, and then you're gonna put the left arrow, and then you're gonna put in here. Oh wait, you're gonna first set the rotation style. Where is it? Rotation style. It's in motion, I think. Set rotation style left, right. Now what this is gonna do is it's gonna stop your character from spinning, which is no bueno. Now you're gonna go in here, get point direction, -90, because that's left, and then you're gonna put change X by -5. Now you're gonna copy this. Put it right under, make sure no, it's not anywhere else, and then you're gonna do D for that, because that's right, and then right arrow, and then you're gonna point in direction 90 and move 5. Now you're gonna duplicate, put it at the bottom. Now you're gonna do the up arrow or W, up arrow, just like that, and you don't have to get to point direction. Just change Y. Change Y. Make sure it's Y by 5. Duplicate. Boom. Now you're going to get the S arrow or S key or down arrow. Change Y by -5. Now, if we run the script, we can move our character, but we can go through walls. Where's the balance in that? I'm actually going to change tub from that to 40. Let's see how that looks. Perfect. Okay, now where's the fun in that? You can go through walls. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make variables. We're gonna create a new variable for this sprite only, old X. Then we're gonna make a new one, old Y. For this, make sure both of those are for minigame character only. Just like that. Now what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to duplicate when I receive end night and get rid of all that stuff under it. And you're gonna want to do forever if else, and then if first you're gonna want to get a set old X, set old Y block, and you're gonna put set old X to X position, set old Y to Y position. Now what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to get an operator, not an operator, a sensing block, and you're gonna want to put if touching. And this is where minigame background is going to come through, or minigame borders. If touching minigame borders, let me move it over here so you guys can see better. If touching minigame borders, we're going to go to old X, old Y. Now we're going to duplicate the top right here, the set, and we're going to put that in the bottom. Now what this does is this always has the last step or the last frame of our position, and so if we're touching the minigame border, it's going to send us to that last frame when we weren't touching it, and that's going to make sure we can't go through it. Now let's run both of these. Perfect. Can't run through at all, just like that. Now we have a moving and working minigame. You may be wondering though, how do we end it? How do we make it end? So you're going to want to add an ending to it, right? So I'm just gonna, this isn't, actually, you know what? I am gonna make this part of the lore. I am gonna add a character. So first you're gonna want to make a new sprite, and you're gonna call this sprite minigame end, just like that. Now you're gonna make a costume for it. I'll be back once I do. Okay guys, I'm back. So if you want to make if you want to make your ending be a character like I am, you're gonna want to make two costumes, one with the dormant and one without. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna want to go into the scripts. Oh, excuse me. You're gonna put when green flag clicked, looks, hide. When I receive minigames or start cutscene or night end, and then you're gonna get if else, and then you're gonna get an if night equals 1, because remember we're doing the first night. If night equals 1, then we're gonna do switch costume to costume 1, and then looks show, but first we want him to go in his right spot, which is right here, and then we're gonna put a go to just like that. Now I'm gonna have the game running in the background while I work on this. So what we're gonna want to do is, since this is the end, you're gonna go into where is it? Into control. You're gonna do a wait until touching minigame character, just like that. Now, once he's touching minigame character, you want to end it, but first you want to make a cool sound, or like a jump scare, if you will. And so, ooh, I don't like that. I like this one. So you're gonna put the sound in. I'm gonna put play sound crunch, switch costume to costume 2, just like that. And now we have to end it for the character, and so what we're gonna do is wait until at the end of this, or not at the end of this, you're gonna make, yeah, you're gonna, when green flag clicked, then you're gonna put it forever. No, not when green flag clicked. You're gonna put a, when I receive night end, you're gonna put forever if touching minigame and stop other scripts in this sprite. Now, what this is going to do is every time the night starts, all of these are going to run, or every time the minigame starts, all 3 of these are going to run. And once you touch the character, these 2 will stop, which means you won't be able to move, and it's just going to be the end from there. Now, we get the crunch. Now we're going to wait 1 second, and then we're going to hide. And then we're going to broadcast main menu. And then we're going to hide this. So when I receive main menu, looks, hide. Same thing with this guy right here. When I receive main menu, looks, hide. Now, in theory, we should have a working minigame. Boom, intro or our cutscene. Perfect. Now we have our minigame. Let's walk to the guy. Perfect. But he's not facing us. What good does that do? He's not facing us. So we will do a, when I receive night end, forever, just like that. Motion, set rotation style left, right, point towards minigame character. Now, what we're gonna do is when I, right here, we're gonna change night by 1. Now what this is gonna do is once we finish the minigame, then we'll reach night 2, and we'll be able to continue and everything as such. So now we have our working intro, and we have our working minigame. Perfect. So now, if you want to make different minigames for each thing, if you want to make a different character, say I want to make a sneaky one for my character Sneaky in this game, I am going to change the color of this little fella to best match Sneaky, which is really hard to match for some reason. That seems about right. I'm just gonna delete these. Very simple character. You're just gonna go into here, and when you did the if else, you did the night equals 1. You're just gonna drag this to the bottom. Night equals 2. Switch character to Sneaky. Simple as that. And now your night is done. Now, when we do the continue button and make the actual night system, we'll be able to access these right here. But if you don't want to have to do that, you can, if you want to test your game out while you're making your second cutscenes, you can go into new game, and once you already started and you're in the title, or actually not even that, you can just go right here, change the night to whatever night you want to test for. Boom, and now you watch, we're testing for night 2. But we don't actually have, we don't actually have a background for night 2. So we'll just do one real quick. I'll have these flip. And then your minigame end, what you're going to do is you're going to want to duplicate it and make a different one. So I want this guy to be Red Hat. Boom, he's different. Now what we're going to do is we're going to copy this, duplicate this, night 2, and you're going to change all of the nitty-gritty in this. So I want him to be up here top right. So he's going to go to 164 and 48. And then you're going to switch costume to costume 3. And then you're going to have to duplicate this guy, change him to be Red Hat. And then once he touches you, switch to costume 4, change night by 1, we're done. Now we have a working night 2. Oops, forgot to do that. So boom, now we have a working night 2 minigame. If you don't believe me, I'll run it, show you guys, and now we have a different night for a different minigame. Remember, switch this to night 2 if you want to test. And so, just like that, you guys can do your intro, and you can do all the night minigames without even having to make the nights. Isn't that awesome? So watch. Boom, 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 boom. Now we're in night 2. Same thing. We're good. Now, I'm going to switch this back to night 1, and this is going to be the end of the video, guys. Alright? Alright, guys, this is going to be the end of the video, so make sure you like and subscribe so you can get the next video where we're actually going to probably be tackling the nights. Yeah, guys, this is going to be a pretty quick series if I keep going on like this. Remember, if you guys had any issues, go back, play the video in half speed if you need to. If you leave a comment, I'll try my best to answer. If not, hopefully one of you guys can help them. Alright? So, thank you guys. See you guys in the next video.